Well, we took another step towards self-sufficiency. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Ben and Denise here, and before we tell you what happened, let's talk about the pond for just a moment here. As you know, this is the second pond that we have on the property, and the other one is an old pond that we recovered, dug back out. You know, the dam had broken away. You know, it's in line with the creek, so we fixed that. And what we did was we had a bunch of PVC 2-inch pipe, and we ran a line from that pond, which is up higher, down to this pond. And so we've got all that nice cold water, which is coming from a spring up in our mountainside, down to this pond. Cold water sinks, warm water rises, and then that warm water goes through the spillway right back into the creek. So having that nice cold water and that water motion allows us to put in trout.
Finally got him.
Finally got our trout. Oh, you gotta unlock it first, right? Ooh, look at that, and some dead ones.
But they need to be in there.
Yeah.
Well, they're still breathing.
Yeah, they're doing okay. They just got to get some air. Hey guys. I don't think they're all dead. But
I think.
You got it? You
Yeah.
get to see it? Thank you, Lord. Okay. You can't eat it. There's one right there. I know we've been talking about it.
Well, it took us a long time to find him.
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, because they don't transport well. They have to have super cold water. They've got to be aerated, and even at that, we had about a 5% loss, which is normal. But the chickens got to enjoy the ones that didn't survive.
Yes.
Morris, fortunately, who has trout, is the one that kind of made it possible for us to get these. He took a look at the pond. He's like, you don't have a lot of that water motion. And realized that the spillway that we're talking about coming from the other pond was blocked up. So
well, you knew something was going on because the water was a trickle.
Yeah, and I had tried running a garden hose through it to try to clear it out, and that didn't work. But he brought his big pump over here, which you can still see behind us, blew it backwards, cleared it out, and that water just started running in nice and cold. And then because the water was really warm, we ran the pump.
Because it was blocked.
Yeah, exactly, because we didn't have the flow going. We had it running all day, just shooting water in, just kind of recirculating the water to aerate it and cool it off too. So you probably see the blue line and stuff behind us. That's what's going on there. But we do finally have our trout, and your favorite kind is?
Oh, I love pecan crusted trout. It's actually one of my favorites. And one of the reasons we chose trout, not only for the flavor, but it's really high in omega-3s. So it is a little more difficult to raise trout. They need more protein than like a catfish, but they do have more nutrients than a catfish. You'll get good protein, but the omega-3s are much higher in a trout. So it's also another reason we wanted trout.
Yeah. She likes it so much we have 2 pecan trees up in the pasture now too.
Yes.
But one of the other things is once they get off their starter food, the fish food, we won't ever have to feed them again because of a little trick that Morris told us about. He has a couple bug zappers, and he just took the base off of it. It hangs out over the water. Bugs get zapped, drop in, feeds the fish. He said his fish learned when that light comes on at night, it's time to go eat, and he never feeds them. And you don't have to feed them in the winter. They slow down. Their metabolism slows down. It gets cold, and so you really don't have to feed them at all at that in the winter. You can, maybe to get them jump started for spring, but
Well, one of the advantages to fish is you don't need a whole lot of land for fish. So it gives you a lot more bang for your buck. So we are blessed. We have acreage, so we can have sheep, we can have goats, right? We're getting cows at some point, which I know we're talking about a lot too. But we're blessed to have land to do that. Not everybody has that option, but what you can do is actually build a pond. And you'll definitely want to talk to somebody that builds ponds or look into it, because you have to have the oxygen and all of that going through the water. But you can build a pond and you can stock it with a lot of fish. We put in about 200 trout yesterday that will grow up and that will feed us. I know our neighbors' kids are going to come over and fish, and they're really excited about it. But it's a way for you to get protein, to become self-sufficient with a smaller amount of land.
yep.
So it's actually really, when you talk about protein sources, probably the better option if you don't have a lot of land, or if you're really looking for more protein for less.
Yeah.
So
Well, like us, this was unusable land. It was just, there's a natural spring down here. It was a muddy mess. You couldn't mow. Turned it into
yeah,
a pond.
it's a natural spring, so
Yeah.
there wasn't much we could do with it.
Right. So now we have fish in there, and that'll help feed us and the neighbors and all that. If you do decide to do that, like she said, look into it, because trout are very particular about water temperature and air content in the water. Most homesteads you'll find crappie, bluegill, catfish.
And we'll be adding
that.
catfish probably to our other pond. We like catfish, so.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and one of the advantages we have, like you said, we have unique cold water. Well, we own basically to the top of the mountain, so we don't have anybody above us. So think that's a huge blessing. So our water that's in our creek literally comes out the side of the mountain, so it is really, really cold year round.
yeah,
So and really good.
you're not going to catch
Really
me
good.
swimming in that.
No.
Cold.
No, and it's really, really good water too. So we also have that advantage. So it allowed us to get trout in this pond down here. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to have trout. So
We'd have to pick some other kind of fish. But
yeah.
we're fortunate we've got trout, rainbow
Yes.
trout. So
So we're so we also want to talk to you about a couple other things going on in the homestead. So
yep, let's move.
yeah. All right, so we are in the shop garden, which is where we had the actual corn that the deer didn't get to. So we were able to process some of our corn, and that was planted in here. This is where we still have some tomatoes that are growing, and it looks like we actually might get a few, hopefully. But what we did was we cut off the corn stalks, left the roots in the ground so it'd break down and help feed the worms. But as you know, corn is an extremely high feeder, so it takes a lot of nutrients up from the soil. So what we're doing, we're putting the fall garden here, and I've got the seedlings growing. They're just about ready to get in the ground. We put them in about 4 weeks ago? I think about that, 3 to 4 weeks ago, we put the seedlings in, so they're about ready to go into the ground. But what did we do to put the nutrients back in this soil?
Well, that's why we brought our homegrown, homemade compost.
Well, before that, though.
Before that, we let the chickens.
And the turkeys.
Turkeys, chickens.
Yeah. So they were in here for several days, scratching, pooping, peeing, all of that.
Flying out, making us chase them.
Well, we thought I thought their feathers were all, but apparently we missed one, but that's all right. We got her taken care of. But so they were in here for a little bit, and now, and then we let it rest for several days, obviously, and then we came in with the compost. Now, most of this compost is actually the compost that the chickens did for us in that chicken tractor on steroids video that we spoke about. So we put that compost on. We're going to let it sit for about 2 days, and then we're going to come in and get everything planted. And then in about 2 weeks, we will come in with the Comfrey stinging nettle tea to just make sure that everything has its nutrients. So this is an easy way, if you've got chickens, put them to work, ducks, put them to work, let them fertilize that garden. We had the ducklings who are finally going to their new home tomorrow. All 9 of them are going to the same home, thankfully.
Yep.
But we actually had them in our garden for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Seems like longer than that because we had to keep moving them because the little pen that we put them in at night, they get up in the morning, it was just...
Yes. Well, ducks are messy.
Poop a lot.
Ducklings are messy, but we
Yeah.
had them in our garden actually putting manure on the garden so that the garden soil can get fed. So there's multiple ways that you can do it, but we just let the chickens and the turkeys in here for a bit, and then we got the compost down. We'll get the seedlings in a couple weeks. Our Comfrey stinging nettle tea will be ready, and we'll get that on, and it's actually looking really good. Even though the corn had taken a lot out, it actually still looks like a really good soil, so we're really, really happy with it.
Yeah. And we did leave one, that's our sheep goat cargo hauler back there, but we did leave one bean plant here, and it is just covered in beans. That thing's doing great, but we had to get the other ones out of here. So
Yes.
But,
So, and then another announcement. Give us
Right.
1 second.
right here.
Right here where they can see it.
Okay.
All right. So
Well.
what's the next announcement?
Well, this is a kind of a big one for us. Standing behind us. We're standing in front of not only her pepper plant, which finally has a pepper on it.
Yes, the deer got to it and it's recovered. So praying that pepper survives.
Yes.
I love bell peppers.
And you have almost 3 seasons now without any peppers.
Yes.
But right next to it is a big plot, not overly big, but a big plot of comfrey.
It's not our only plot.
Not our only plot.
Yes.
But what are we going to do with that comfrey?
We are actually able to sell some comfrey. Now, we don't have as much as Billy and Michelle because we just started planting comfrey last year and then a lot really this last spring. But there is a lot that has come up from last spring when we planted it. So we are now in a position to sell some of that comfrey. So if you go to our website now, we are selling it at the exact same price that Permapastures Farm is, with the exact same shipping costs.
In agreement with them.
Yes, they actually said, please, we can't keep up. So
Yes. So
yes, so
we're not undercutting them. We're not stealing their business or anything like that.
yes, we made sure with them that it was all good, and they said, they're like, please do it. So we are able, like I said, we don't have as much as Billy and Michelle, but we do have it on our website now, so you can go there and purchase it. We're going to be selling it in quantities of 10 just because we don't have the same amount that Permapastures Farm does. We'll have a lot more next year. We planted a whole bunch this summer. But go to renewedhomestead.com and you can click on the shop button and you will see comfrey there in quantities of 10 that you can purchase for yourself. And I've got a list of some of the things that we use comfrey for. It is a miracle herb, and it is probably the most important plant we grow on our homestead, hands down.
No, in full disclosure, we cannot promise miracles.
Well, it's called the miracle herb, though. So yes, no, it's not. It's not FDA approved. We're not doctors. We're not medical. Yada yada yada.
This will not cure baldness, crooked necks,
Crooked necks.
consumption, conjunctivitis. It will not cure any of those.
Well, it'll cure a lot.
It
but
will cure.
We can't.
We can't make claims.
We can't make claims.
It will.
Yes, but it is considered a miracle herb. We give it to all of our animals. Decker is actually chewing some right now. Come on, Decker. But comfrey is, like I said, probably the most important plant we grow on the homestead. And once you plant it, y'all, you don't have to plant it again. It will keep coming back to that same location. And we're going to take you up here. We had put down our sheet mulch and our cardboard and all that, but that's broken down. So some of our grasses are coming up through the trees, the fruit trees and nut trees that we planted throughout the pasture. So we're going to take you along and show you how we use comfrey to fertilize it and what we do to kind of stop those grasses from growing to allow the tree the best chance it has. We're going to take you along to do that soon because we're going through and redoing all of our trees right now. Getting them ready for the fall and winter.
That's right.
So
probably do some grafting next season.
yes.
Definitely do some grafting next season.
Yes. But renewedhomestead.com, click on the shop tab, and I will have a link in the description as well.
Yep. So we've got fish, we've got poop, and we've got comfrey.
Yes. We're blessed. As weird as it sounds, y'all, we're blessed with poop.
That's right. But the October 22nd event
Yes.
is getting full fast. So if you are interested, you think you're going to make it, please email us the names of all of those attending.
Yeah, first, last name.
Yep. It's first come, first serve. So it's filling up quick.
Yep. renewedhomestead@gmail.com.
There you go. All right.
All right.
I think we got you all caught up and covered. Well, not all caught up, but
Yes.
covered for today. So the sun is going down and our dinner is getting cold and Decker wants his dinner too. So we're out of here. You guys take care of each other. God bless. We'll see y'all on the next video. Get the pets spayed and neutered.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.